Hey everyone, what's up? It's Bethany. Okay, so today's topic is about being on disability for my mental illness, my bipolar. I have had a lot of questions over the past from lots of people about how the whole disability process works. I just want to stay up front. I'm not giving out any legal advice. Please talk to your own state's legal people and Social Security if you want like legal advice. I'm just giving you about my experience, so I'm in no way saying that you guys are going to qualify for disability or anything like that. I just want to put that out there. Okay, so it all started back in, I would say, I think like 2007. My psychologist mentioned to me that I might want to try going out for disability since I have a hard time keeping a job. And then I was hospitalized for the first time in 2008, and I believe I filed in 2009 because I was hospitalized at the end of 2008. I was hospitalized in October, so I think I actually got around to filing in 2009, at the beginning of 2009. And what I did was I went online, and I believe I submitted an application or I set up for a phone interview. I honestly don't remember. It was so far back. But either way, I had to go through a whole phone interview process. So I somehow signed up for that online. And then what they did was they called me up and well, first they sent me a letter in the mail telling me when I was going to have my phone interview and what I needed to have ready, which was, work history, hospitalizations, medicine that you're on, anything like that. Sorry, I got a hair on my tongue. Ugh. Anyway, so the lady called me up, and it actually went really good. It was really long. It probably took about an hour and a half, I would say. And Samantha must be on the camera too. Say hi, Samantha. Oh, she's getting excited. So what I did was we had a phone interview. I think I've already said that like 5 times now. And they were able, with my Social Security number, they were able to pull up every single job I've ever had in the past. So she basically went over, they didn't have the employer's name on all of them. They just had like dates. So we had to go over and determine how long I worked there, what the employer was, and then I had to give them my job title and the job description so they knew what I did at the job. I had to go over all my hospitalizations, all the medicine that I'm on, and it was a very thorough process. And then she said, I think there was like 2 different kinds. There was, I think it's called supplemental income, and then just disability. And again, I'm not giving out any legal advice. I don't even know if this is accurate, but from what I remember, it seemed like the supplemental was if I was like the sole breadwinner in the family, I could get like a bigger disability check to help my family versus just versus just getting disability for myself. But since we owned our own home, we owned our own vehicles, and my ex at the time, he had a job. I didn't qualify for that. We made too much money, so I went with just disability. And pretty much what they did was, I think they took an average over all the jobs that I've had and how much I was paid. And I think they did like an average based on that, and that was how much I was to get a month. And then obviously my back pay. So however long it took me to get on disability from when they diagnosed me disabled, I would get paid a back pay check, which was okay, say I'm not going to disclose how much I make a month, but just say on average somebody makes like, say, I don't know, $500 a month on disability. Okay, we'll say they're fighting for 2 years. I got like that amount of income for every month added up total as a back pay check. So that was cool. That was the only positive side of it taking so long for me to get it, was you get that. But I'm getting like way ahead of myself right now. So after the phone interview, then they would send me all this paperwork, and they sent my family paperwork, they sent my ex paperwork, my mom paperwork. We were all to fill it out separately. We couldn't fill it out together. And it was basically questions about me and how I cope with daily life. And then I also had to go to a psychiatrist to get a Social Security mental evaluation. I had to go to a medical doctor to get a physical examination. And one thing I was told when I was on my phone interview is to not just list the disability that I'm applying for, list all of my conditions. Like, I have diabetes, I have sleep apnea, I have PCOS, I'm overweight, like, list all of that. That way, if you don't get it, I guess, for the one, they might consider something else. And in my case, I got it for bipolar, but there was also another condition that I have that she put into consideration, which helped me get my approval. But I got denied the first time after all my evaluations, even though I had had 2 hospitalizations. They still denied me, which is very common. I was told more than likely you will probably get denied the first time. Pretty much, it seems like pretty much everybody gets denied the first time because they're trying to weed out the people that really need it versus the people that are just trying to milk the system, which is very frustrating for people like us who really need it, and we can't get it because there's people out there faking, and it was a very frustrating process. So the first time I got denied, I appealed it, and then I had to go and do paperwork again for the second time around. I did not have to do a second phone interview. I did not have to go back for any more examinations. I just had to do more paperwork. I got denied again, so I appealed again, and then that was when I had to go to court. And boy, was that scary. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm terrified. I have to go to court. I have to speak before a judge. Am I going to be in a room full of people? What's it going to be like? So those TV commercials for the lawyers that say they'll get you disability on TV, on the TV commercials? I called one of them up, and they helped me through the whole process. It was totally awesome. They interviewed me and had me fill out paperwork, and then they went through and collected paperwork and medical records from all my doctors, and then they helped prep me for court, and they were there with me when I had to go to court. My lawyer sat next to me and helped me through the whole thing. It was way less stressful knowing that I had a lawyer there with me. And the cool thing about it was I didn't have to pay the lawyer anything up front. All I had to do was pay his fees once I was awarded. If I was not awarded disability, I didn't have to pay him anything except for I can't think of the term that you use, but like postage and paper, like when he would fill out forms and send it to like my doctors and stuff, I had to pay for the paperwork and the billing and all that kind of stuff, which was only just a couple $100. But I did get it, and what they did is they took his fees out of my back paycheck, and then I paid him what I owed him. I think I only owed him like $200 more, and I just paid that out of my first disability check, because they give you, I think, up to like your first disability check to pay them out of that or whatever. And so then I did get awarded in 2011, so I fought for it for 2 years. And it was a hard fight, and I know there's lots of you out there who want to know what it's like, or afraid. I just recommend, for my circumstances, to just do it. If your doctors are on board and they think that you're going to qualify, and you really honestly physically cannot work or mentally cannot work, go for it, because it is a long, enduring process. It really is. Especially in my case, where I'm fighting for a mental illness, where it's not appearing on the outside what's wrong with me. It's all on the inside, so that's even harder to fight for. But for those of you who have never been to court or scared or wanted to know what it was like, I don't know what everybody else's situation was like, but I'll just tell you about mine. I just went into a very tiny room, and the judge was up on a higher up desk in front of me, and then to my right was my lawyer, to my left was Social Security's lawyer, and then there was like a mediator in there or something, and then there was the person that was recording everything. And basically they called it evidence. They had my medical records were evidence, and my lawyer would go over different like evidence A or evidence 1B or whatever to the judge. And then at the end of going through all my medical records with the judge, she would ask me questions and I would answer her. And then like Social Security, she would ask Social Security questions like, do you think, according to what has been said here and what is shown in the medical records, that she is able to complete these following tasks at a job, and you know, he would have to say yes or no, and in the end he said no, she's not able to do any of this. So there was like 3 different levels. There was like very qualified, or a little bit of qualified, or you can have jobs with no skills. So she said, is she able to work at a job that you need a lot of skills for? And he said no. And she said, is she able to work at a job where you need some skills? And he said no. And then the last question the judge asked him was, do you think she's able to, and this is the Social Security lawyer she's talking to, do you think she's able to work, given the information provided here, a job with no skills, where like an entry-level position? And he said no. So therefore I was awarded. I did not find out that day, but after we left the courtroom, my lawyer told me, you more than likely got it. It went very well. And then I think about maybe 10 days later, I got a letter in the mail saying I was awarded my Social Security, and it was such a huge relief because I'd fought so long for it, and all my doctors were backing me up saying you deserve it, you know. And let me tell you a little bit just real quick to make this video not much longer, but with working, having a mental disability, if you don't have a mental disability, it is hard to explain to you why we can't work, okay? You might think, well, there's lots of people with disabilities that work. Okay, yes, that is true. A lot of people out there are bipolar or handicapped, in a wheelchair, or blind or deaf, and they have jobs. More power to them. That's great. With me, it's like a sense of impending doom. I would freak out the night before I would have like a job the next morning. I would freak out, and I literally felt like I was going to die. I could not get up and go to work the next day and perform my job. I felt like I would die if I was going to. I did not feel like I had the energy, or that I could be social, that I could be around other people. There's just so much involved in the feelings of the impending doom that you just physically can't and mentally can't do it. And it's not just work. It was with school too. I couldn't even complete school. I ended up dropping out after my sophomore year, and even when I was going to school, I was always getting in trouble for attendance because I just could not get up and go to school. It wasn't a matter of being lazy. It's just like with work. I've had very professional jobs, you know, and some are very physical labor, some are office jobs. I've had all kinds of jobs, and I've loved a lot of them. And it's not that I didn't want to do the work. It's just I really felt like I couldn't. Like it's so hard to explain. My mom never understood when I would tell her I can't go to school today, and she'd be like, "Why not? Are you sick?" And I'd say, "No, I'm not sick, but I just literally can't do it. I feel like I can't make it." And I mean, that's just the best I can explain it. For those of you out there who are like me, you're going to totally understand what I mean. And then there's others who probably are going to have a difficult time understanding it. But just, you know, all I ask is don't judge people if they're on disability. You know, you don't know their circumstances. And, you know, we pay into that Social Security. Yes, you do too. You pay into Social Security. So if you ever need to be on disability or you want to retire, you can. Just like me. I paid into my Social Security, okay? So it's not like I'm sitting around living off of everybody else's tax money. I'm living off of my tax money. I paid into my Social Security, and that's what I'm dipping into. And that's the biggest stigma with people, is they think, oh, we're just paying for them to sit around and be disabled or fake being disabled or whatever, but that's not the case at all. So I just wanted to give everyone a little information on my disability and how I got it. And it was a 2-year struggle, but I got it. And then I think I'm due for review. I think they said like June of 2014 next year. So I don't know really what's going to happen with that. I haven't had a review yet, so I don't really know how the review process goes. I imagine they'll send me paperwork and I have to fill it out and send it back in. And then if they need more information, they'll probably contact me. But you know, I'm trying not to stress over that. We'll just deal with it when it comes. My biggest complaint though with it is they would send you packets this big, okay, of paperwork to fill out in an envelope this big, and you could never fit all the paperwork in these little tiny envelopes. It was very frustrating. And the envelopes, of course, were already addressed and all that, so it's not like you could go get a different envelope. It was just, and so I'd have to like tape it like crazy. But Anyway, I'm just rambling now, but I just want to let everybody know a little bit about disability because I've seen that question a lot. What is disability like for you? How long did it take? What did you have to go through? And that's pretty much what I went through. Just to wrap it up, I basically had to do a whole bunch of paperwork. I had to do a phone interview. I had to go do a mental evaluation and a physical evaluation. And then I had to appeal when I got denied. And then I ended up going to court. And then I got my letter where I was awarded it, and I just had to set up a bank account so they could deposit my checks into my bank account, and that's pretty much how it went. So it's really not that bad, especially if you have somebody to support you that can sit down and help you with the paperwork. It's really not that bad. It's a long waiting process, so I recommend don't putting it off. If you need to be on disability, go for it now, because the longer you wait, the longer it's going to be, and who knows how many more benefits they're going to keep cutting down the road. You know, you might be awarded more now than later. I don't know. I'm just saying, you just never know what they're going to cut out. It seems like every year benefits are getting taken away from people. So my wishes go out to everybody, that everybody has, you know, a good chance if they need to get on disability, that they get it. And I will talk to y'all later. Okay, thank you for listening. Don't forget to comment.